Dell Technologies VxRail Deploy 2023 D-VXR-DY-23 exam dumps are valuable for you to study all the related topics. Share some D-VXR-DY-23 exam dumps here. 1. During the activation of internal SRS, the implementation engineer receives a message that the deployment has failed. What is a possible cause? A. Site ID mismatch between the IB database and the SRS wizard. B. VxRail status already set to installed, in IB database. C. SRS Bay gateway on the same subnet as the VxRail manager. D. Witness gateway not configured following Dell best practices. 2. What must be enabled on Tor switch ports connected to VxRail nodes to support multiple VLANs? A. Access mode. B. Link aggregation. C. Trunk mode. D. Rapid spanning tree. 3. You are attempting to reset a single G-series node running 4.0.x code to the factory default. You discover that the configbundle.tgz file is corrupt. What is the recommended method to recover the node? A. Rapid appliance self-recovery. B. Node replacement. C. Mobile build server. D. Reset script. 4. A system administrator attempts to use the VxRail REST API to obtain system health status for their VxRail environment. The system returns the following error code 401. What should the administrator do to address this issue? A. Provide vCenter credentials with sufficient rights. B. Ensure that the VxRail manager IP address is correct. C. Use a REST API software package different than the native version of Swagger. D. Use v2 system instead of v1 system. 5. When adding a VxRail node, the validation fails. What could be the cause of this problem? A. IPv6 multicasting is not enabled. B. Only one network interface online. C. Time on the node was not set correctly. D. DNS record was not created. 6. What is validated by running the proactive VM creation test in vCenter on a VxRail cluster? A. vSAN operates successfully. B. Network firewalls are configured correctly. C. vSAN has sufficient storage capacity. D. Network performance is sufficient. 7. What is the Dell EMC recommendation for VxRail management VLANs? A. Use untagged traffic on the native VLAN for the public management network. B. Use tagged traffic on the native VLAN for the public management network. C. Configure the VLAN ID with a default of 3940. D. Configure the VLAN ID with a default of 1. 8. What accurately describes VxRail G-series nodes? A. All nodes in a chassis must be identical. B. Different dot releases of the same major release are permitted if in different chassis. C. Each chassis must be fully populated. D. Hybrid and all flash nodes are permitted if in different chassis. 9. Which network feature is unsupported on the VxRail system NIC ports? A. Spanning tree. B. Multicast. C. Unicast. D. Link aggregation. 10. What is the recommended format for hostnames when using the VxRail deployment wizard for an external vCenter solution? A. FQDN for vCenter server, hostname for VxRail manager. B hostname for both vCenter Server and for VxRail Manager. C FQDN for both vCenter Server and for VxRail Manager. D hostname for vCenter Server, FQDN for VxRail Manager.